Welcome back, Operation Bushcraft, friends and family. Now, I did a video a little while back called the 5 ignition methods. And one of the first ones we discussed was the Bic lighter. So, when you get a Bic lighter, there is a wheel cover right here. It's a safety device. And when you get that, very carefully, outside of your pyramid of death, you're going to want to just prop those up just a little bit. You're going to want to be careful. Once those are exposed, there's a little piece right there that will allow that cover to come off. Now keep your finger on it so don't get away from you. Because, leave no trace. Being really careful. You're just going to work this semi-loose to where it'll come right out of there. And once you get that to where it'll come right out of there, you can take and you can mat those pieces back down. Now, if you don't want to lift that up, check it with your finger. Make sure those pieces are down. So when you strike your lighter again, you're not going to hurt yourself. Make sure there's nothing poking you. Or, depending on how much you trust yourself, remembering safety third, safety first, safety all the time, you could, outside of your triangle of death, being aware of your blood bubble, pop that piece out. Now, it's not going to be as easy to keep track of, but so there are no questions. This is just a water measuring cup. It's got it's got about 3.5 cups of water in it. Just regular water. I want you to see there's nothing harmful. And I want you to see that this lighter works for right now. Now, you're probably thinking, why in the world would you drop your lighter in water? What if you drop it in a puddle? What if it's raining? What if it's a downpour and your lighter gets sopping wet? Well, the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to shake it out. Get that water out of there as best you can. Definitely not working. How do we fix that? You blow it out. Still not even getting a spark. Shake it out again. Blowing it a little bit. Starting to get a spark. But if you take your lighter and you run it really fast on your pants and you start getting them sparks, draw out your lighter. You start to smell it. Now, maybe I said that. Maybe I did. We'll just drop it back in the water. Because as I showed you, it's not that hard to rescue a wet lighter. As you can see, there's nothing up my sleeves, nothing in my hands. It's me. Here, let's get that good and wet. Let's make sure there's not a doubt in our minds that that's wet. I mean, you can see my pants change a little bit of color as I dry my hand off. Maybe not. You see the water on the floor. Water on the lighter. So we're going to shake it out. Gonna blow it out. Shake it out. Blow it out. Still, there comes that spark. But if you get that heat built up, striking that lighter, you should be able almost. Like I said, I didn't want it to be a fluke. Now I'm starting to get them sparks. And once you start getting them sparks, you start to smell that lighter fluid. You can rescue a wet lighter. When this lighter is dead, it is not completely useless. As long as you can get that spark, you could ignite a pet ball, a piece of char cloth, anything of that nature. Or you could have a jagged striker to where you could take that lighter and you could, using your striker, scrape off little pieces of your lighter to where you get these little blue flecks. Because this lighter is blue. Could be orange flecks, could be red flecks. I'm going to use my Garberg, and I'm just going to scrape around my lighter. And I'm going to turn my lighter so that I keep the surface level the same, so I'm not wearing a hole in my lighter. And once I get enough shavings together, it's almost like a feather sticking process when you create a feather stick. And I'm not scraping all these off here because I want you to see them. I want you to see that without doing any real damage to this lighter, I am creating all these little shavings. Kind of like if you were to scrape the fuzz off your socks or your pants, you could get a decent amount of scrapings off of your lighter. And once you put them all together, you get them where you need to be, and you go ahead and you collect all a little bit more off your lighter. You've got a little bit of a pile to where even with a little ferro rod, you can get a fire. Now granted, the more shavings you do, the more fire you're going to get. It wasn't a very big fire. But I also don't need to scrape down my entire lighter right now. There was a fire there. Did you see it, Vincent?
There's a little tiny flame.
Little tiny flame, but you saw it.
Yeah.
So you know you could scrape your lighter down and make a rescue fire with your lighter. That's why, regardless of what lighter you carry, regardless of how you do it, never throw away an empty lighter. Remember, you always want to carry more than one, because 2 is 1, 1 is none. And if you bust your lighter and it don't work anymore, and all you got is a spark, you can still start a fire. You can shave it down, and you can get a fire. Again, it serves many, many different purposes. But as you saw, I took the lighter, not once, but twice. I put it in a decent amount of water. I got it to light again. I used the lighter body itself to start a fire. Until next time, struggle to make pudding.